ela тирающаяся, che poginska gronda spone. Bobu. Da, bobu.
Battle for Earth begins.
Anything else that might get in the way of our ideal must be destroyed immediately.
The ultimate enemy has arrived. Their single purpose: destroy our world.
I'm sure God would understand the steps we're taking.
Those who oppose them, die.
Let me repeat that. If this mission fails, if we are unsuccessful, we have no future.
We've had enough! Isn't it about time people realize the ones posing the most threat are none other than yourselves?
This is not meaningless.
This is the result of natural.
What this is war.
Commence destruction.
Now, these pirates will shake the foundations of the Alliance and change the course of history. If they can stay alive.
Those Gundam pilots are desperate. They'll battle even if it means forfeiting their lives. Mission accepted. Of course not.
Just like it is with the stars. There are bright ones and there are those that are dim.
Both sides prepare for the final battle. Suit up.
Nothing good can ever come from staying with normal people.
Be very careful.
Mankind has reached the stars.
There has to be some form of punishment.
Love the women that face punishment. Those are the ones that love me.
Time out! Get set! Go!
But I'm surging with women. Hillary Clinton's a bigot. She would not be my first choice, that I can tell.
Because you'd be in jail.
Would I approve waterboarding? You bet your ass I'd approve.
And I'd bring back a hell of a lot worse than waterboarding.
Go home to mama.
where I could stand in the middle of Fifth Avenue and shoot somebody and I wouldn't lose any voters, okay? It's like incredible.
I guarantee you there's no problem.
I think we should take a drug test prior to this event. I never heard that one before.
Circuitry and metal, cold and emotionless, carry out tasks without conscience. Robots, thousands, programmed for destruction, march towards the future is coming. Man's greatest inventions, making the impossible possible, are no longer under our control.
Technological strength will just become a threat to the Earth.
This new breed of technology makes humanity obsolete. Robots, thinking, acting on their own, begin their march toward domination. These machines, built by man, serve no one. The robots among us, watching, waiting, calculate their new world order. Their time is coming. They cannot be stopped.
Attention, strange weapons are approaching. Attention, strange weapons are approaching.
With perfect weapons and superior intelligence, robots rule this planet. Let the fall of mankind give way to a new age.
This little mudball of a planet is doomed anyway.
Century 0079. The one-year war rages on. Spacenoids against Earth dwellers.
I'm gonna drive the Xeon forces right off here.
Zeke against Faye.
Not bad for a Betty, but I bet you're not ready for this! Commander!
As both sides prepare for the final battle.
Run for it!
The secret love of two enemies may be mankind's only hope for peace.
Feeling it? Do you believe you can still fire at the enemy?
They're no better than they are.
We're gonna fight well here!
Again.
boy has the right to dream. There are endless possibilities stretched out before him.
To trust in your own power.
Whatever happens from now on, you stand firm and face your destiny without fear, but with courage.
What awaits him down the path, he will then have to choose.
No one's gonna give you a map. You've gotta walk your own path.
Children leave their homes in search of this quest.
What is thy desire?
As they search, they are always asking questions. What's out there? What's waiting for me?
Why was I made? Who made me? And what did they make me for?
Are you gonna go up into space with your old man or not? Maybe I'll never get over this. I've lived my life following my dreams, and I don't have any regrets.
You're gonna just keep running away?
Just keep running away? I'm not running.
8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Believe in yourself and create your own destiny. Don't fear failure.
I don't know, I just woke up from a little nap. It's a little dark, but you guys silly? I'm still gonna send it.
Okay, how about now? Oh, so I unmute my mic and then every once in a while my audio interface needs to get reset. I should just preemptively do that. Big screw up. Dude, how am I will never recover. How am I ever gonna recover? Well, you guys know the spiel. Welcome to Controlled Substance. Another banger for you tonight. Got my Spindrift. Good to see your pretty faces in chat there. We got Liturgical Wife, Iron Alien, and Young Content. The usuals. The usual suspects. I have almost finished last week's mega clip edit. And now that I've got that, I think I should be able to get them out quicker. So hopefully there'll be a better content stream coming from this show in the near future. Tonight, though, I want to do two things. I want to take you guys through a little bit of the weekend news. Again, the news just feels so scattered lately. I don't know if you guys feel the same, or how much you keep up on news even, but there's a whole lot going on in all different directions. It just feels very chaotic. So we're going to take a bunch of those micro stories and we're going to just dive into them. And then overall, I want to take the last half of the show and I want to mull over some thoughts that I mulled over with my wife earlier about the general zeitgeist and how it feels to be on political Twitter. And long story short, it's so negative. It's so draining. And it really makes you notice how few options, how few alternatives and how few options there are in the political landscape. It's becoming pretty salient to me, and I think I've got an idea on how to try and work to make things a bit more positive, a bit more productive. And I think it solves a lot of problems. So we'll noodle on that a little bit as well. For now, let's dive right into it. Blue pill time, baby. Okay. Today's story, the first one we got. Andrew Tate just dropped. New Andrew Tate just dropped. Apparently, so I was going to watch part of this on stream with you guys, but I went to the YouTube and it's 4.5 hours long. It is 4.5 hours long. That's crazy. Do you guys listen to the PBD podcast? I don't even know what this is, frankly. Almost 1 million subscribers, so that's a pretty good size. 2.3 million views right now, not even posted 24 hours ago. So I'm gonna probably watch this tonight. If it's worth covering, we'll cover it tomorrow. But for right now, let's take a look at some Twitter clips. Because 4.5 hours, that's a beast. That's a behemoth of a podcast. So I'm just here on #TopG on Twitter, and we'll see what pops up. See what kind of clips we get.
With business interests, have ego investment in hurting me now. And I keep winning. So I don't know, I'm in a very precarious scenario. Do I continue to win? Do I let them win a bit? Do I just roll over and shut up?
You sincerely don't know what the right thing is.
I sincerely have decided that the best thing I can do is stay true to my faith and stay true to God and tell the truth and fight. And with business interests...
Okay. Gooch Life. What up, homie? What up, Goochinator? Okay. So I saw something earlier that said Andrew Tate... It said Andrew Tate was atheist to Christian to Muslim. How do you go from being Christian to being Muslim? I don't know if I've ever met anyone who's actually done that. I would be interested to hear... I got to find that clip again because I'm interested to hear how that happened. Most of the time that I see people go from Christianity to being Muslim, they are... Most of the time that people are going from Christianity to being Muslim, they usually throw out something red-pilled, red-pilled, red pill community. He's going from Christianity, and a lot of people think that Christianity is gay even when they're in it. I would assume it's Protestant or something. I don't know. I don't get it. The reason that a lot of these influencers are turning Muslim is because of the brand. A lot of these religion conversions are brand plays. Zerka's a good example. I think Zerka's super entertaining, but he's like a cocaine fiend, womanizer, playboy. There is nothing about him that's Christian. There's nothing about him at all that is Christian. It's an interesting point, too. We talked the other day about Tucker and how Tucker is saying some of the right things, but fundamentally is just not our guy. He won't go all the way. I see Zerka as like the and Sneeko and Tate, anyone who is using religion as part of their platform and maybe not meaning it. It's kind of the same thing. I don't know what the line is between what's useful and how genuine someone needs to be. Do you know what I mean? Because people can say the right thing for the wrong reasons and still have a positive influence. I think the key here probably is when people have a tendency to look up to these guys. They have a tendency to idolize people. And that's just natural, particularly with social media when these people are getting thrown in your face. Thrown in your face every single hour of every single day. There just needs to be a healthy perspective on a political leader should never supersede a religion. Because at the end of the day, humans are fallible. And so you just need to be careful of elevating to them to that level. And I think because we've lost so much religion, I think because our society is so secularized, it makes the problem even worse because there is no proper hierarchy to put these people in. So they get elevated to idol status, and then when they aren't everything that they claim to be, it crashes down. But this is all a tangent. He's a fake Muslim, I heard, says Gooch Life. Born Orthodox, went Muslim. I think he was Christian, atheist, then Muslim. Okay, so he was born Orthodox, then he was atheist, and then he was Muslim. Yeah, everyone, if you're enjoying... Hey, scoot on in here, guys. Pick up a seat. If you guys are enjoying the content, why don't you caress that like button a little bit for me, okay? Why don't you, if you're enjoying the content that you see, please smash the like button, and please also smash the subscribe button. Oh, fuck. Okay, that didn't turn... Okay, 1 second. What the... Okay, I got it. Hold up. This probably sounds like an avalanche. Okay, what? Hold up. Yeah, throw that like button in the gulag. Okay, that should work for now. Back to it. Just ignore everything. Just ignore all of that. But also make sure to smash that like button, brother. What should I call you guys? I should call you guys the Pill Fam. I need a name for our community. Man, give me some ideas. Give me some ideas here. What's up, pill fam? What's up, drug addicts? Controlled substance. What's up, substance abusers? you guys are the substance abusers now. What's up, substance abusers? Make sure to titrate that like button. Make sure to snort that like button and inject the subscribe button. Pill fist. We'll figure it out. We will get there. I guarantee you. We're gonna get there. What's up, substance addicts? Why don't you go ahead and titrate that like button, inject the subscribe button, and tune in for every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, every day of the week at 5 p.m. any time zone. Okay. I'm going to play a sound clip, and we're going to reset, and we're going to get back into it.
Let him cook. Let him cook now. Let him cook. I said let him cook.
We'll workshop it. Okay. Back into it, baby.
Right now, you think you can turn her to be an exclusive to you? Her name is Kim Kardashian. how about? I mean, she's watching. You know?
I wouldn't do that to Yeezy. I wouldn't do it to her. Wouldn't do it to her.
Okay,
I'm not. I'm
he's
sorry.
married now.
No, but you know what? This is actually another.
But by the way, I love what you just said right now.
But I wouldn't.
I love what you just said right now. We were having a conversation the other day about the relationship with men, how it's supposed to be the men relationship. The question: there's somebody that's single right now. You think you can turn her to be an exclusive?
What did he love that he just said? That clip was so confusing. Oh, he just wouldn't sleep with Kim K? Cool. Well, that's good. Okay, so instead of trying to find clips, here, we'll watch one more. I just want to watch a good clip. It seems like the clipping is a little bit lackluster here.
For you and Tristan, 92 days, you're in jail. What was it like for you guys being in there?
Jail was terrible. I was miserable inside of the jail cell, but I think in life that you get what you give, and I wanted to feel happier, so I tried my very best to make people happy. So when the old lady would bring me my food, I would sit and say, oh, this is the best food I've ever had. Did you cook this? What's the magic ingredient? And I ended up making friends with them. And by trying to make people happy, I started to feel a lot happier. But I think the scariest thing about jail was the uncertainty of it all. Because they would have said to me, you got 5 years. Cool, I'll do my time. But when you're nabbed and thrown in a cell without charge, you're like, is this my life? Is this it now? Is this the end of the story? I'm just in this cell.
For you and Tristan, 92 days, you're in.
That is a good point. The worst part about hardship is always not knowing when it's going to end. I don't know if any of you guys have ever been through a physical or mental health crisis and the doctor hasn't been able to give you like a diagnosis. It's absolutely the worst part. The worst part is not knowing what situation you're in. And they're purposefully doing this to Tate right now. They put him in jail for a month. A month was the maximum they could without charging him of anything. He still hasn't been charged. And now he's on house arrest, still under investigation. And nobody tells you, particularly the government. This is a tool that they use. Whenever you're under investigation by the DOJ, they will not tell you anything. You will know sometimes by if like money gets frozen or you're not able to fly, whatever, anything that affects you in the middle of their investigation, you will know by that. But they will not tell you until they find it convenient. It's all on purpose. Same thing we were talking about from Tucker's episode 2. Excuse me. This is why the laws are nebulous as well. Slowly, but surely, and we're already there, laws become more nebulous. Procedures become more nebulous. You can't find a fair trial. Our justice system is eroding. And it's fully able to be weaponized. We'll hop right into the Trump story, actually, because I want to keep an eye on what's going on there. I see a lot of people driving up, a lot of people showing up for the Trump indictment. And like I said on Friday, it's kind of sketchy. I don't think no normal person is going to do anything. But that won't stop normal people that are there from getting caught up in something. And I'm curious to see how much the January 6th overreaction has really scared people away from things. And or if it even matters. I want to show you guys this one video that I found. So hashtag federal agent was trending. Look at this. Hashtag federal agent was trending. This man knows exactly how much Sudafed. Okay, this is just someone. So I don't know who this guy is, but apparently he's trending right now. Let's watch and see what he has to say. He looks like a Chad, honestly. This looks like someone who I would give half a gallon of gas to on the dock for his pontoon boat that he made from scratch.
A lot of my family blood spilled for this country. I'm not going to let it go to waste. I'm not. I refuse. I did 19 years here as a federal agent in Dade County. I'm just not going to let this country go to waste. And right now it's going to waste. Well, if he gets indoctrinated, January 6th is going to look like a playground. It's going to look like a playground.
Wait just a second. Wait just a second. Did I hear that correctly? Did you guys hear that the same way I did?
And right now it's going to waste. Well, if he gets indoctrinated, January 6th is going to look like a playground.
Yes, I did hear that correctly. He said if he gets indoctrinated, maybe he's on another level. Maybe that's 4D chess and he's talking about something different than indictment, but either way, very, very federal agent vibes so far.
It's going to look like a playground. From the inside voices that I hear from all the militias and everything else, it's going to be a playground. But if they want to fight, bring it. I mean, I watched Kamala Harris in Orlando. I watched Antifa throw bottles, spit on my child, throw stuff at us. They told us to refrain ourselves. Really? Okay. But it is what it is, you know. This country's so left right now, but we got to bring it back to the right. We got to get right on the right path. We got to bring everything back. If we don't, we're going to crumble. We're going to be a third world nation. You know? We have to stand up for that flag. We have to stand up for our beliefs, and we got to put God back in this country. If we forget about him, he's going to forget about us. And right now, we're forgetting him and we're forgetting Israel. We forget both of those. Read your Bible. Read your Bible, because there's a lot of boys like me that are.
Oh my God. Okay, there is so much to unpack here. First of all, vibe check. This guy's cool. Second of all, Fed check. He is saying very federal agent things. But he doesn't have the energy of a federal agent, so jury's out on that one. But anytime anyone's advocating for violence, you got it. They're either retarded or they're a Fed. So just also, we don't need to support Israel more. We already give them billions of dollars for literally zero in return. So that doesn't make any sense. Also, God doesn't forget about us. So it's not like God is contingent on us running our country correctly. A bunch of things floating through my mind. But I like it. I like him, man. I like the energy. I like the casual Florida energy.
Ready. All we need is an order. We're ready. Believe everything that indictment said, but the proof is in the pudding.
This looks like my hometown. Legend. Young, did you watch that earlier? Let's watch that again.
It's going to look like a playground from the inside.
Okay, so something very important here. Do not do a TV interview where you're advocating for violence. Trump is getting indicted. So Don't do that. Unequivocally, don't incite violence on TV in an interview. Just throwing that out there. Second point here. Feds do like to do this. So you don't become a federal agent. Okay, so I'm taking this guy at his word, right? Is he a federal agent? I have no idea. He could have been a janitor. I have no idea. But you need to be careful when someone at one point was a Fed, because they are always a Fed. It doesn't go away. That's not something that stops. It's like the mob. You do not get out. You do not get out of the mob. You're always in the mob. Anything that is that sensitive, that brotherly, and that like team-oriented, I guess. Anytime you have a band of brothers like the FBI or like the mob or like a drug cartel, you don't ever get out of that. So when someone says they're a federal agent, you always have to be skeptical about what they're about to tell you. Just a general rule. So this is what happened on January 6th exactly. If you remember correctly, leading up to January 6th, there was a lot of rumors about backroom chats from militias about some shit about to go down. There were barricades going up. They were preparing for the worst. And like I said on last Friday's stream, when they start preparing for the worst, it's because they're priming for the worst. It's about public opinion. They have Secret Service that never gets seen by any normal people. They're always around. They can protect themselves. They can protect the Capitol. They can protect whatever they need to without causing a giant PR scene. So when they start causing a giant PR scene and giving away their tactical advantage, because, I mean, rest assured, right? It's like with open carrying. It's like with the Second Amendment. If you open carry, you are at a tactical disadvantage because you're showing your weapon and you're automatically giving away a lot of information. The government is the exact same way. If they legitimately expect something to go down, they are not going to go on MSNBC and CNN and Fox News and start leaking their intel and talking about it. So whenever they start doing that, you got to wonder why. And almost always it's because they're priming the public for something that's about to happen. Usually that means a false flag. Keeping it at 100, usually it means a false flag. Sometimes it means they think this is going to happen, and so they just want to have a story ahead of time. But just know that this information does not get to the media with no one signing off on it. Particularly information, if you wanted to actually catch a bunch of 3%ers, you wouldn't say anything about it. You'd let them do the crime or start to do the crime, then you'd go in and sweep them up. So whenever I hear people like this talking about if he gets indicted, it's going to be a playground, that's big red flags for me. And it's either way, it's a red flag. It's either because you're too stupid to understand that what you're doing and saying has legitimate jail consequences, or you're starting something. You're trying to get the word out there.
Voices that I hear from all the militias and everything else, it's going to be a playground. But if they want to fight, bring it. I mean, I watched Kamala Harris in Orlando. I watched Antifa throw bottles, spit on my...
Young says, go eat some catfishes. I don't think I could sum this up any better than that. Yeah, go eat some catfish. It's fed. Okay. Oh man, did I lose my last? Lauren Southern has been tweeting a lot about getting people together. And I like Lauren Southern. No, Laura Loomer. I get them mixed up. Laura Southern sucks. And just did a giant post about how her Fed husband left her because she had ADHD. Laura Loomer is organizing a protest. I haven't seen all that much news, and so I really hope that nothing pops off tomorrow. Lauren S. has a man voice. Yeah, I got it. I got it straight now. Support our president, Donald J. Trump. Peaceful rally. Okay, so I want to know your guys' thoughts, and let's hop into a black pill. Let's hop into black pill mode. Young says, my life mission to put a Fed kid under MK Ultra. I'm just gonna go find a Fed kid and then and start dosing them. Yo, like a young Pasternak. You guys know about Harley Pasternak? He's that personal trainer that turns all these celebs into zombie trannies and threatened to take Ye's kids away. Really dark. If you don't know about that, you should look into it. But what is the line these days in the information age? How relevant are physical protests? And this is something I want to think about more myself, and I want to get your guys' opinions on, because physical protests used to be the only way you could really show out for something. And today, physical protests seem to me like just mostly a risk for red flag shit. You know what I mean? What is the benefit of going to Florida and standing outside a building with a flag when you could run a social media campaign and get way, way more eyes on it? It seems like a lot of risk. It seems like it just hasn't been reassessed. It seems like someone needs to take a step back and be like, okay, why are we meeting in person for these things? There is something to be said for people out in public, but I don't know what the risk reward is there, frankly. I don't know how good that is. I'll have to think about that more, but we're in an information age where we are past the same way that guerrilla warfare in Vietnam and tanks and planes in World War II. We're not, if we fight the last war tactics with this war's technology, I don't know if I said that right. If we are using outdated tactics for the time that we're in, it's just going to be ineffective and dangerous. So, I don't know. I'm skeptical about in-person protests. On the same hand, you don't want everything to be taken online because censorship is so crazy. You never know what's real or what's not. You also never know what's real or not. Like January 6th is a great example. That was just like a normal protest, and then a bunch of people went into the Capitol. So they can spin information however they want. I don't know. Something to think about. Okay, one more story. Keep this on the black pill. You don't get to see the nice rainbow colors in the black pill section, but Biden today, the People's House, your house, sends a clear message to the country and to the world. America is a nation of pride. For those of you that haven't seen it, Oh, gross. I was hoping there was the other shot. 2 American flags, and then the gay flag in between. This is our nation's capital, and Biden is making a very clear declaration here that everything's gay now. That is all. We already knew it. Lots of people freaking out. Lots of people going off on, I can't believe. Biden, you've taken it one step too far, brother. How dare you put a gay and trans flag on our nation's capital? If that ain't the Confederate flag, then I don't give a fuck what you're flying up there, Biden. Brandon, you ignorant honky president. Does anyone say honky anymore? Is that even a slur? We already knew this. We've been talking about it because it's Gay Pride Month. Been talking about it a lot, so really not an interesting take here, but it does kind of deliver us into the red pill of today. The red pill. It's a mix between red and white pill, so I'm not sure what part of the story we're going to land on here, but what I do want to say is I've been on crypto Twitter for so long, and crypto Twitter has a very specific problem. Crypto Twitter has a problem with toxic positivity. Toxic positivity. They are fake. And this is kind of the difference between the left and the right. The left is so fake that they pretend to love and be nice about everything. Everything within their circle. Excuse me. Got those bubbles coming up from the spindrift. Most people on crypto Twitter hate each other. Most people, it was all well and good when everyone was making a ton of money, but most people don't like each other on crypto Twitter, and they will pretend to like each other because it helps keep them in that circle and keep getting leads, keep getting connections, all that stuff. It's a very fake echo chamber. I hadn't been on political Twitter ever before this. So when I started this stream, I went and followed a bunch of people. And the one thing that I noticed more than anything else is how toxic, and not positive toxic, just how outrageously toxic everything is. People who agree with each other are shitting on each other on timeline. The infighting is absurd. It's just a giant lunchtime food fight between people who generally believe the same thing. And I know it happens on the left. I'm not really in the left-wing crypto Twitter or left-wing political Twitter. But on the right, it is infighting 24/7. A-logs, talking crap on everyone, people bumping, like quote tweeting and just dunking on people. I understand some of the necessity of this because the right needs to figure out what they're all about. The right needs to unite under a single cause. But what is going on right now is everyone arguing is not uniting anyone under anything. Catholics versus Orthodox is a great example. In real life, Catholic and Orthodox pretty much get along. Steph, let me know if I'm wrong on that, but they're pretty close. There's obviously some differences, and there was the schism back in the day. They had a little schism back in the day, but nothing big, nothing huge. No, but I think most people, in the modern times, most people can agree that Catholics and Orthodox have a very similar belief structure. Yet, in the Zoomer political sphere, People will argue about that all day, every day. Steph says, yeah, my parents sent me to Catholic school. Yeah, so exactly. See, that's the thing. Everyone used to settle for feeling morally superior internally. And now you have to blast it all on Twitter. That's just unnecessary. You just got to feel better than people. So here's the point. I don't even want to be on Twitter most of the time because it's just so negative. And it's very insulated too. You can't. The best part about NFTs was that at the beginning, when everyone was coming up, you could send someone a message and they would respond to you immediately. Didn't matter who they were. I can't count the amount of people that I sent who have hundreds of thousands of Instagram followers, 50, 100,000 followers on Twitter, and they all just got back to me. That's wild. And that was happening regularly. If you had the balls to just go out and message a bunch of people, you were getting some great responses back, and you were probably going to work with someone really cool. Political Twitter is not like that at all. And here's the overarching point I'm trying to make here is, one, it's so negative. It's not helping anyone. Everyone on the right needs to figure out what we're fighting for. Like I've said a bunch of times, the left, they have their disagreements, but they are united around individualism. They're united around the fact that everyone has a unique worldview and should be able to do whatever they want. If the right fundamentally disagrees with that, we need to figure out what we do agree with. And I was talking with my wife about this earlier today, and I think this is something that I really want to dive into further about the mission of this show and how we can make a positive change moving forward, and simultaneously probably being somewhat cancel proof. I wrote in the description for today's stream what happens when you take Andrew Tate, Donald Trump, and Nick Fuentes, and you put them all in a room and you make them gay sex each other. And out pops a baby. I think those three people have been three of the most influential political. Andrew Tate's not really that political, but three of the most influential people that I've seen in the past 5 to 10 years. Let's break them down. I'm going to pull up a picture here. Liturgical wife, you do not know how gay sex works. When a man fists a man, I'm just going to get extremely vulgar if I go down this path, so maybe I should just quit. They fist each other's assholes, Stephanie. I did see that Tate identifies as a woman. Okay. Okay, here we go. We'll go to White Pill because we're going to be saying some inspirational things here. We're about to get inspirational up in this bitch. All right. Andrew Tate. Imagine this poster is on the ceiling of your bedroom. What did Andrew Tate do better than anyone else? How did he rise to become the most searched man on the planet, arguably one of the biggest voices on Earth? What did he do? Well, first off, he said a lot of stuff that nobody was saying, but that most people agree with. Additionally, and more importantly, Andrew Tate has Hustlers University. He does not own it, but he's a big part of it, and he teaches on there. Hustlers University is a monthly paid subscription service. I think it's like $50 to $100, something like that. You pay that monthly, you get access to a Discord. That Discord then teaches you how to get rich like Andrew Tate. That's the entire idea behind it. There are many ways, many things that you can learn, but what happened and what was expertly crafted by him and whoever else is running it with him. What happened is one of the main and easiest ways for people to earn money was by creating a clips channel for Andrew Tate. People would pay $50 a month, get into this Discord, learn exactly how to create a successful YouTube clips channel. They would then take Andrew Tate's content, upload it, and then they would make exponents on their $50 a month membership. This is so genius because it exposes a fundamental flaw in the system of social media. Social media, it cannot cancel everyone. It's like that movie A Bug's Life or Ants, whichever one of those two ant-themed CGI movies you want to point to. There is power in numbers, and if you get a large enough group, you cannot be stopped by a single power. The grasshoppers can't come and take all your grain, you know? Andrew Tate created a Bug's Life ant farm, all based around getting his message out there. And he left a blueprint for people to be able to follow. There is no reason that people cannot follow exactly what Andrew Tate did. Where did he fail? Andrew Tate failed in that I would argue he failed less than both Nick and Trump. And I like Nick and Trump better, honestly, but Andrew Tate is in jail and still trending. Andrew Tate is in jail currently, went to jail for a month, is now on house arrest, and is still one of the most influential people on the planet. That's impressive, and that's because he built a system that's bigger than himself. Where Andrew Tate goes wrong is he does not have a holistic vision. He does not have a positive vision that he is pushing. He's just talking about being a man and making money. Very worldly things. Fucking hoes. What's a better way to say fucking hoes? I'm trying to clean it up a little bit here. Laying females. He's laying females. Sneako's the same. Becoming Muslim, still sleeping with as many girls as they want. Used to run an OnlyFans cam site or cam business. You know, just not really a holistic person. Not a person to look up to, but a content farm for sure. So that's how I see Andrew Tate. I see Andrew Tate as kind of cracking the code for how to manipulate. And speaking of manipulating the system, Trump did the exact same thing. He manipulated mainstream media the same way that Andrew Tate manipulated social media. Trump realized that if you are an outrageous, brash, charismatic individual, the news will cover you every single day as long as you're being that guy. You can get unlimited news time if you just go out there and make sure that you're being a Chad. If you're being a Chad, if you're being Donald Trump, the news will cover you, and it doesn't matter if they hate you, because for what one person hates you for, another person will love you for that exact same thing. Grab Her by the Pussy is the best example of that. Grab Her by the Pussy is one of the funniest things I've ever heard in my entire life. You ask a liberal what they think of it, and they will get morally outraged that you could even suggest something like that. I think it's amazing. Most people think it's amazing because we know it to be true, and the people who get offended at it are just jealous that Trump can go and just have whoever he wants. Again, similar to Andrew Tate, and Trump is not the most morally sound person. But what Trump has that Andrew Tate does not is a very clear vision for America. That's what he did have in 2016. The major downfall of Trump was that he got infiltrated from the inside with Jared Kushner so many other people in his cabinet and in his political campaign. His speechwriters write boring, garbage nonsense. And he got completely clogged up in the swamp. Rather than going in and nuking like he was planning to do, he went in and got advised better. Trump was fundamentally trying to play the system's game and beat them at their own game. I think it's pretty clear now for anyone who is taking a look at what's going on and the current political landscape is that you cannot beat them at their own game. This will be important a little bit later. I'll expand on it a bit, but we need to step outside of the game, fundamentally. There needs to be a complete rejection of how the current game is played, and our main goal needs to be both breaking the system and providing an alternative new system in its stead. The left wins time and time again because they are out there promoting their absolute morality. They're promoting what they think is right. They have a clear vision. They want trannies everywhere. They want schools to teach their ideology, and they will go to any length to make that happen. They want abortion legal everywhere. You see, they know what they want, and they go and get it. The right doesn't know what they want, except for to say that they know they don't want that. I don't know what the right wing should be, but I know that that's too far. We talk about it all the time. Moving on to the third person, Nick J. Fuentes. If you guys don't know him, he is a political dissident. Got to start doing YouTube, political commentating. He was on track to become a Daily Wire superstar, making millions and millions a year. He decided to question the JQ and got yeeted. Since then, he has been a political dissident and a pariah. And currently, he is the voice for far-right dissident politics. In my mind, Nick is a great example of someone who has not figured out the reach game, but has figured out the message. Nick and his group, the Groypers, they have a very strong Christian nationalist, Christian futurist message, where they know exactly what they want to see happen in this country, but because they are infighting all the time with anyone they come into contact with who isn't 100% Catholic nationalists, they push themselves further and further to the margin. I don't think this is a bad thing. I think you need people like that, and I think that they're playing exactly the role that they need to play. You need a group of people who's always to the far, far extreme, because otherwise you're not going to be able to argue for a compromise or for something that works shy of that extreme. So here's why I bring up these three people. If we can smash them all together, if we can put them all in a centrifuge. Does anyone know any good kidnappers? Does anyone know how to use Tor or the onion web? If so, send a message to my lawyer. We need to kidnap these men, and we need to smash them all together. I have a new patented brain technology where you hook them all up to these hairdryers, and then if they all say the same words at the exact same time, they Freaky Friday into a tube. We can take that tube, and if you drink the tube, then you gain their essence. You gain the essence of all three. In all seriousness, each one of these people has made a huge difference in the conversation, in the culture conversation, in the political conversation. Trump, obviously, President of the United States, huge. Andrew Tate, giant, most searched, most Googled man in the world at one point, still relevant from jail. Nick Fuentes, canceled from the most canceled person. I think inarguably was on the no-fly list, got $500,000 stolen from his bank account by the feds, kicked off of every social media platform, currently not allowed on free speech Twitter. And if you listen to him, which I've been listening to him for a long time, he's not saying anything that should be bannable. You know what I mean? It's a lot of propping up if you listen to exactly what he's been saying. So we need to take Tate cracking the so Tate decentralized content and made an incentive for people to push content out. Trump is independently wealthy and an incredible personality. And Nick and the Groypers have a vision. So it's social, it's information strategy / marketing, it's charisma, stage presence, and then it's idealistic values and a very clear vision. If we can take the best of those three things, you have a winning formula. I don't see a world where you don't smash those things together and you come out with a power movement. And on the cherry on top of all of that is we need to be offering a solution for people. We need to be offering an alternative to what they currently have. Currently, the alternative to the left is to say that the left doesn't get it, is being unfair, or is stupid. The entire conservative right-wing movement has been boiled down to such an ineffectual slime crump that all that people on the right can do is just complain on Twitter. It doesn't have to be like that, and there are very easy ways to get past that. If we can create some sort of show which turns into a movement, which turns into a social media flywheel, and we have the blueprints for all these things, if we can do that with a clear and positive message that people can latch onto, people will latch onto it. The cycle of history is easily predictable. The end of an era always looks exactly how it looks right now. I'm going to use World War II because it is the most salient example that I can think of. Weimar Germany was the most debaucherous. Germany was in shambles. They got screwed after World War I. Their country was dying, and it was terrible. Great Germany turned into disaster Germany. It's pretty close to where we're at today. I would argue that we're right there. You can point to all sorts of different examples in history. Multiple times in Russia, Rome. I'm no history buff, so I can't cite the exact examples, but this is a pattern that plays out. What always springs out of disorder is an overcompensation of order. So this is how you get Stalin. This is how you get Hitler. This is how you get Mao. This is how you get these dictators who come in and turn their country around for a while. They really do fix the problems quickly. But then they become corrupt and it turns bad. To what degree that it turns bad, it's arguable. And it differs. But what all of those have in common is they all have a resolute leader, something easy for the people to grasp onto, and it allows them to change the country. It allows them to change the world for the better. Now, how do you stop it from going over the better into the worse? I don't really exactly know. I have to think about that one. But there's a clear path for what is happening currently. Iron Alien, shut up, dude. Monarchy does work. These are all dictatorships. These aren't monarchies. Monarchy's the solution, brother. Because that's the solution. Like you have a dictator, or you have and there's a whole system built around it. You have a monarch, and you just kill the king. Anyways, I just wanted to think about that, and I wanted to think about how to make the landscape more positive because it's exhausting. I know a lot of people who are good people and want to be involved in this stuff, but they can't because it ruins their life constantly tuning in to it ruins their life constantly tuning into all this negativity and infighting. It doesn't have to be like that, and I think that these three guys give a good roadmap of what works, what doesn't, and how to potentially navigate those waters. Yep. What do you guys think? That's my spiel for today. I'm going to turn it to Green Pill. If you guys want a super chat, go for it. If not, no worries. I'm going to head over to the Green Pill screen. Oh, what are you guys saying? What do you guys think about that? Am I diagnosing things correctly? Am I on the right path? I mean, I don't see anyone doing it. I really don't. All I see is people complaining. Most of the people who are out there doing stuff are shills. Maybe that's it. Maybe it's hard to get money unless you're... I mean, you do need to make a living at a certain point. I don't see why, with today's technology, though, I don't see why you can't crowdfund something. There are plenty of avenues to crowdfund something. You know what I'd like to see, too, is, like, I want to see a protocol that drips Ethereum or drips a token for propagating political content. Iron says direct democracy. Steph does not like direct democracy. Let me look up the definition of direct democracy. The electorate decides on policy initiatives without elected representatives as proxies. Oh, that is a terrible idea. Sorry, Iron. That is a terrible idea. Because people are retarded. And it just makes the problem that we have right now worse. Because people are so uneducated that if you make them vote on every single issue, there is no shot that they're going to understand any part of it. You can delegate. Isn't that just normal democracy then? Direct democracy is without representatives. Representative, vote for representatives. Am I misunderstanding delegate, Iron? The way that I think democracy without suffrage is never going to work. So democracy, I like the idea of some type of democracy. But having no suffrage is the problem. Because I don't think everyone's life is inherently valuable, but everyone's life and everyone's opinion is not equal. particularly from a political perspective. Extreme example, a mentally handicapped Down syndrome kid turned 18. They should not have the same power of vote that I do. How do I know mine is valid? Because I don't have Down syndrome. I think IQ is a good basis. I think skin in the game is a good basis. I think that honestly, if you want to incentivize nuclear marriage, I think that amount of kids should play into how much your vote counts, because you have more skin in the game. The more kids that you have, the more it affects you and your legacy going forward. So I think that is a metric. I think there's probably some sort of formula that takes a bunch of different innate measures, a bunch of different innate marks like IQ, sex, race, and pair that with things that you can change, like amount of kids and military service, things that are skin in the game. You take all those and then you come up with some sort of formula, and you come out on the other end with how much your vote is worth. And I think that's the only way that you could really get a democracy that kind of works. But even then, you still have to deal with the problem that people can only make decisions based on what information they're given. So you need to have a true freedom of the press, free information, and you need that to not ever get bastardized. And I don't know how that's even possible. Just by the fact, so Elon goes on Twitter and he keeps talking about, he says he's trying to get like a Twitter news where everything is just the news and there's no bias. It doesn't even exist, because by the mere fact that you are choosing what to report on is bias. And then maybe you decentralize that, but then who votes on what's covered? There is no way to prevent bias. And so I don't see how there will ever be a true free information. And if that's the case, then you can't ever have perfect information for a democracy. Everyone votes whoever wants to. I don't know what that means, Iron. You see what I'm saying about the information problem, though? Just by the fact that you're going to choose what story, because there's way too much information to cover. People need to curate. So if you're just taking a look at the news, where are the newsmakers getting their information, and what are they choosing to report on? Because that is a bias in and of itself. So plus, people are just lazy. Like, people don't research anything. I remember voting for like a local race one time, and I went through and looked at a bunch of different candidates, what their platforms were. First of all, I couldn't even find their platforms. And these were local people. Couldn't even find their platforms. And so I know that no one else was going out and researching. And so that means that like 90% of people were going voting party lines. The other 10% were voting for people that they work for or that they know. Iron says, everyone votes whoever wants to. That's why everyone's opinion is valuable. I'm working on an app for that. I don't. It's probably because the delay. I'm not following your train here, Iron. I don't think everyone's opinion is valuable. I don't think that a serial killer or a pedophile should get a say in how our country is run. on equal weight as you or I. Do you think that they should? Because if you do, then I think we just fundamentally disagree on that. I don't think that life is fair, and I don't think that everyone gets dealt an even hand. And the same way that I will never and could never be a pro basketball player, a pedophile should not be able to vote where I can vote. You know? There's inequalities, and I'm throwing out extremes, but the extremes still track down to minutia. And if you have some sort of weighted system like that, then I think that you can more accurately track those minutia and then look at data coming from that. An app for all candidates in one location. That would be great. I would love that for local elections, man. It was so hard. It was so hard to find just the basics. I looked at the ballot and I didn't know who anyone it was. I went to look it up and I couldn't find anyone. And I'm like, well, okay, so nobody knows what they're voting for. That means that whoever has the most marketing dollars wins, because they're the ones who can get out in front of people's faces the most. Yeah, the wife gets it. Only one Kobe, baby. I'm never going to be Kobe. I shouldn't get the same amount of basketball money that Kobe does. Not by any stretch. And mental capacity is no different. Like there are geniuses in this world, and they should get more vote than me. Chris Langan should get more vote than me. That's just how it is. I'm okay with that. But if I'm okay with that, then someone who's 100 IQ should get less vote than me. And profoundly less vote. Someone was talking the other day about they're like under 100 is when we should start. So it's suffrage, but then suffrage based on IQ, and then you every standard deviation you go down like a standard deviation of vote weight. But I don't think this person knows about midwits. But also the midwits break down at a certain point. Like if you are a brain dead vegetable, you shouldn't get the most vote on the planet. You know? So I'm really trying to figure out a system. I'm trying to think, okay, well, dumb people are smarter than midwits. But not always. But a lot of times they're not. And then smart people, a lot of them are just really dumb. So it's like, okay, well, IQ is probably not a great way. It's like, okay, well, then we just throw a bunch of other shit in there, and then we just keep throwing other shit in there. Moe Jack, this is a dangerous conversation. You know it, brother. Moe Jack, what do you think? Who determines the value of a human/vote? Well, the king, of course. The king does. The king, whoever takes over the government with military force, they decide. Do you see what I'm saying, though, Alien? Like, the logical extremes take you to some really weird places if you say that everyone should have the exact same vote. And who decides the final version of that? I don't have a great answer for that. I really don't, because it depends what our next government looks like. Or it depends what this one morphs into. But what I think we can all agree on is that there's some version of that, or maybe we can't all agree on it. Maybe this is just me, but like the there is some version of suffrage that needs to come back because we need to recognize that not everyone is equal. Value and equality. Well, okay, so here's the thing: we're not talking about intrinsic human life value, because maybe this is where we're crossing in the night. I think that most people are dumb. I think most people are dumb. But okay, besides that off-the-cuff statement, here's what I think is going on. I think that there needs to be a very clear distinction on people who, the value of human life and their dignity as a human being, and then running a large-scale government and a functioning world order and ecosystem. You know what I mean? So just because someone has value being alive, like a Down syndrome person, just because they have value and should be alive, doesn't mean that they need to be making decisions for how our country functions. You know what I mean? And so by the nature of our country and our government, if we have a democracy, by the nature of that, it needs to be held to a different standard. It's the exact same reason I can't go into a Wall Street firm and start trading stocks. I am not capable of doing that because I don't have the expertise and I haven't been properly trained. I don't see how voting should be any different. If you're expected to be having a say in making decisions for how the system which we all live and thrive by, if you're expected to be making decisions in that system, you need to have a certain amount of qualifications to be making those decisions. And that's where I think suffrage metrics come into play. What if that person has a political knowledge that is impossible to obtain by the average person? Then they get more power. Their vote is weighted more heavily. Moe Jack, the answer is always AI overlords. Yeah. We should just give the government AI powers. If you can go to war, you should vote. I don't think so. You should have some sort of say. And I think that if you are going to war, you should have more thrown into your weight. I think that putting your life on the line for your country is a good way to add weight to someone's vote. Because that's a great example. If you're really dumb, if you're born with all these disadvantages, like you're really dumb and you don't have any political knowledge, all these things, but then you decide like, hey, I still want to have a big part in my country. And you go and sign up for the military and go serve for a couple of years. I think there should be a way to quantify that so that you get more voting power. It's all about skin in the game, I think. Because at the end of the day, we're making decisions. Anyone who's voting is making a decision on how our lives work, the system in which our lives work. And if that's the case, that's why it sucks so bad that all these congressmen and women are all childless. Like, none of them have kids. I don't have a stat on that, but like most people in Congress, I think, don't have kids. And that's awful. That's crazy because obviously we want a better country for our kids. And there is a difference. Like you can understand to a degree. What is going on in the background? Is that a tranny cowgirl? What is playing back there? Oh no, that looks like a real girl. Wait, this is like a music video or something. What the? Oh, okay. 6:30. Oh, baby. Let me check real quick. I've been on the green pill. Check my super chats. The overall message of today's stream is that we need to be more positive. We need to be offering solutions rather than negating other people's ideas. As a movement, that's what needs to happen. There you have it. That's the show for today. That's it. I'm going to go fix my mic and then go eat dinner. Hey, you. Hey. Fuck. Hey. Hey, you. If you enjoyed this, if you're watching this on YouTube for some reason and you enjoyed this content, make sure to go ahead and titrate that like button. Make sure to grab your AIDS needles and shoot up the subscribe button. Thanks, substance addicts. Thanks. Wow, what did I call you guys? Substance heads. Man, what was it? It was something good. Substance abusers. That's it. All right, substance abusers. Have a great Monday evening. I'll see you next time. Peace.
Remember, all I'm offering is the truth, nothing more.